Hi guys, my name is DrAce and today I'm going to be reviewing Forgive Me Father 2. Now I had the pleasure of playing the first Forgive Me Father game and I've been looking forward to the sequel. Now Forgive Me Father 2 is in early access and has been since the 19th of October 2023. So today I'm going to review it on the merit of it being in early access. A lot of the features are still yet to be completed, but the groundwork of Forgive Me Father 2 is still very much alive. So without further ado, let's crack on with the review. Now, I'm going to start a review here today with the gameplay. I think the most important thing about gaming, and in particularly first-person shooters gaming, it is vital that the gameplay is fun. Gameplay such as guns, such as movement, such as the combat, such as the arenas that you fight in. If they are fun, the game will be thus. And let me tell you, Forgive Me Father 2 ticks all of those boxes. Now, the guns in this game are the standout for me, and I think it also works in tandem with the enemies being relatively easy to kill, but also challenging to evade. The gameplay allows you to feel like you are absolutely slaughtering with visceral combat and solid weaponry, but still always manages to balance the gameplay in a way that doesn't feel either too easy or too challenging. Now, there was one or two opportunities where I felt that the game should have given me more ammo or possibly more health, and then on the other side I felt like maybe there was too many easy enemies for me at this particular point. But I think there's also a certain storytelling to the atmosphere where not everything has to be the biggest and toughest enemies. It is balanced out in a way that will prepare you for those bigger arena-like moments when you have to go absolutely gung-ho to try and survive. Now, more on storytelling and atmospherical moments later, because right now here's just a clip of absolute chaos of loads of enemies pouring in left, right and centre. You don't know where to look and you're just trying to steel yourself for as much combat is about to possibly go down. And I will say, these moments are my favourites. When you step into a certain arena, start fighting a little bit and then realise, uh-oh, the music's kicking off, it sounds awesome, and combat is about to be ensued. These moments are what I live for FPS games, and this is brilliant. You get the impression that your sanity is going as much as the protagonist is as well, because there's so much carnage, there's so much blood, and the music's absolutely thumping in the background. It's a fabulous combination. Really, really enjoy the gameplay of Forgive Me Father 2. Now, a continuation of gameplay is the weapons and upgrades available to you in Forgive Me Father 2. Now, you can of course just run the standard weaponry from the basic revolver to the pump-action shotgun, which I will point out is one of my favourite shotguns in gaming at the moment. It's absolutely brilliant. But there's always weapons to find to increase your arsenal and overall give you a better chance of success. From finding the rifle to the grenade launcher in the port and shipyard area of the early few levels is brilliant. And I will give massive praise to any developer who makes the grenade launcher detonate on impact. It is an absolute lifesaver in certain moments and it feels terrific to execute. Now, there is also a auto shotgun which can be found later on in the game, but I will discuss that later due to a few spoiler reasons. Well, the simplistic way of upgrading weapons is to head back into the hub world, which is this asylum, head over to your vendor and purchase a vendor of whenever you want to purchase. Either it can be a tome to increase your madness abilities, or just buy a upgraded weapon of the gun you're already using. Now, I may have mentioned earlier that I really love the pump-action shotgun, but to be honest, when you upgrade the shotgun, you get yourselves double barrels and you absolutely eviscerate the enemies in one shot. It never feels stale. But the most significant upgrade for me was from the revolver to the aptly named pistol. This becomes a more rapid fire pistol that just decimates the enemies. It is terrific. I found myself using this pistol more and more since I upgraded it, and I don't think I'd even bother upgrading it to the next step. It is terrific. However, there is some exceptions to this rule, because although the upgrades are genuinely good, I didn't quite like the rocket launcher upgrade compared to the grenade launcher. The rocket launcher made sense against the final boss or a big herd of enemies, but to be honest, I missed that idea of tactically using the grenade launcher around corners and trying to decimate people from far away. That the rocket launcher didn't quite have that oomph that I expected. I also tried upgrading the rifle to the Eldritch Grasper, and it is good, it is powerful, but I just prefer the idea of being able to have instant gratification with the rifle rather than trying to spool it up and waiting for it to shoot. But something we do need to look at is the other side of the upgrades, and that is your power-up, your special ability that allows our protagonist, the priest, to go into madness mode. Now, I will be honest, I don't like the madness mode anywhere near as much as Forgive Me Father 1, but the madness mode is quite useful for rapid fire gunplay, rapid reloading, and a few extra bonuses as well, such as lifesteal, such as extra resistance during combat. And as good as it is, I didn't really see myself using it all that much. I kind of forgot about it in some instances and just wanted to use it in certain occasions for those fast, rapid reloads. So the next thing I'd like to talk to you guys about is the level design and aesthetics of Forgive Me Father 2. Now, I will say this is a big step up from the first game. The visuals were always good in Forgive Me Father, but this one, there's a whole lot of storytelling going on from just the environment alone. Beautifully designed and crafted areas, each one being significantly different to the other levels. Every single level has its own distinct feeling. Some are creepy, some are grotesque, some are scary, some are eerie, and some feel familiar, like a port or a shipyard. It's brilliant. I really love the design choices of Forgive Me Father 2. And just tell me if you feel that sense of eeriness and creepiness from this ambient noise. From one creepy part to another, I succumbed to the basement level. Now this enemy is exclusive to this particular level, and there's an enemy in here that makes a creepy noise, and it's pretty damn scary, especially when it starts firing a bloody laser at you in a dark and secluded and damp basement. It just had my nerves on edge, and now let me take your attention to a certain other part of this basement, which involves many explosive barrels, which aren't really a problem because blow up the barrels and good times will happen, right? Absolutely sensational level design and enemy design. When I first dropped into this room here in the basement, I was genuinely startled. I had my headphones on, I was ready to experience what Forgive Me Father's got to offer, and then this happened. This was absolutely terrifying, and it was terrific. Such a creepy enemy, and of course any gamer wants to blow up all them barrels and positively yearning to destroy them all, but unfortunately that is not the best thing to do here in Forgive Me Father 2. Now of course the visual and aesthetics stand out so well in this game. The comic book style, the thick drawings, the grotesque amount of blood in this game, the enemy designs, and of course the way text pops up over enemies' heads as you kill them all stands out so well. And what it does is it gives Forgive Me Father 2 uniqueness, and I think that's what I love about the design in this game. The blood, the gore, the visceral combat, the way the enemies explode. It's rather disgusting, but it gives Forgive Me Father 2 personality. There's a lot of modern shooters, there's a lot of retro-inspired shooters nowadays, but sometimes some of them lack originality and personality. Forgive Me Father 2 stands out amongst the rest, and I really love the style of this game. Now, as I mentioned at the beginning of this video, Forgive Me Father 2 is in its early access stages, so unfortunately the story is not yet completed. There is no voice acting, and the only way to really understand any of the story is to go back to the asylum after every single mission and read these letters sent to you in your cell. Now, of course, there is a letter for every single mission, and there's still a lot to read, but I do look forward to the inclusion of cutscenes and more information about the father when Bite Barrel completes the development of Forgive Me Father 2. Now, one thing I do really appreciate is the idea of choosing a path. Either go to the trenches or university, or possibly a third door. Keen to see what that is in the future. But this separates your path from about halfway through the game to go either one direction or another. I did find that going through the trenches path was rather interesting, and I was happy with my choice, but I was worried that I would then miss out on what I didn't choose and have to do another playthrough. Thankfully, that wasn't the case, and I was still able to complete both the university and basement missions after completing the final boss. Now, there is an additional part of story as well, which can be found through exploration in the game, from going into secrets and picking up burnt pages that all contain some sort of weird symbol to be used at this spot within the asylum. Now, I will say, I don't want to spoil it too much, but this part did include a little bit more story about the father's past and how he reacted to this particular secret. I don't want to spoil it too much, so I advise to go and check it out yourself, but one thing I will say, as I mentioned earlier, you do get the pretty epic shotgun which is contained beyond this secret. So before we conclude today's review, I just have a final few thoughts I would like to share with you guys. First and foremost, big respect to Bite Barrel, the developers of Forgive Me Father 2. Their transparency in what they're doing with this game and how they're updating us constantly on Steam, giving us information, giving us patch notes, and giving us an estimate of when this game is going to be finished. I'd also really like to say about how great the idea of replayability is in this game. I also love the detail about having each cell generate another cell as you go to another level, and each parts of those cells represent what that level's about. I just think that's a really cool detail that more games should probably include in the future. But a final thought of today's video is I just want to let you guys know that this game ran flawlessly. I'm playing this game in ultra-wide perspective at an aspect ratio 21:9. There was no problems, no graphical errors, and of course no frame dips either. Great experience, would highly recommend. But guys, that is it from my review, so thank you very much for watching this video. I sincerely hope you enjoyed. If you did, let me know and subscribe to the channel. Ciao for now.